What's up, people? In this video, finally love me. Can you do a video on Thomas D fat fasting? I'm a little confused about this approach as it seems unnatural and unhealthy, spiking your insulin, which risks muscle loss during the fast, I think, and losing benefits of autophagy. Toda Rabah, I really appreciate your insight. From a woman of America. Okay, woman of America, here we go. If you guys have any other recommendations, let me know.
I've got something different for you to try. Okay, something that you can use intermittently just to throw into the mix. Okay, maybe you're getting a little tired of intermittent fasting, you're getting a little tired of traditional keto, and you just want to do something different. I call it fat fasting, and it's just like the name implies. You're going a period of time where you're just consuming fats. You're not completely fasting, you're not doing the traditional keto diet. You're taking a day or two where you're just consuming fats. There's a lot of benefits to this, and there's a lot of reasons behind it. Now, as far as clinical evidence backing it up, there's not a whole lot out there, but there's also not a whole lot out there surrounding much of anything when you really get down to metabolic health. So I'll break it down, give you my reasoning. Hey, so we've got videos coming out almost every single day right now. So make sure you're keeping it locked in at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time on this channel almost every single day. Hit that bell icon, turn on notifications. And after you watch this video, you can go ahead and check out Sun Warrior down below in the description. They have something called the Warrior Blend, which is a really cool mix of pea and hemp proteins that are trying to reduce carbs around your body as far as protein powder, not trying to lose too much weight. Might be all for you. So if you're doing fasting, look something, even though you're doing a ketogenic diet and you need to shake it, but don't lose too much weight, definitely check out. So give it a shot after you watch the video. So let me give you some tips here. When you do a fat fast, and I'll break down how to do it, the whole goal is you're getting calories in without any kind of blood sugar spikes, okay? So what happens a lot of times when you consume protein, or of course when you consume even a negligible amount of carbs, it does affect your insulin levels and it does affect your blood sugar to some degree, okay? Gluconeogenesis, although it is demand driven, which means that when you consume protein, it does convert to carbohydrates or sugar to some degree, that is going to affect your blood sugar. Now, one thing that I've noticed in time is that when I consume protein first thing in the morning, there is a big difference in how I feel mentally compared to when I'm fasting. Now, I still feel great when I consume protein. Please don't get me wrong. Protein is not bad at all. Okay, meat's not bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I notice a difference when I'm fasting versus when I have a little bit of food, a little bit of protein. So throughout this...
Woman of America. Unnatural and unhealthy spiking your insulin. So like coconut oil is not going to spike your insulin, right? Like insulin is spiked based on how high the food that you are eating is on the glycemic index, right? So like glycemic index, right? And like, is there a website that is like shows the glycemic index? Maybe. You would think that there would be like a website that like ranks all of the whatever coconut oil. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, so coconut oil doesn't have any sugar, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like, there's no... Anyway, long story short, the sweeter a food is, the higher it's going to be on the glycemic index. Coconut oil is obviously not sweet at all, so it's not going to spike your insulin. So like, I don't know where you got that idea from. Probably just a misunderstanding as far as like what foods spike your insulin versus what foods do not spike your insulin. The sweeter a food is, not necessarily the more sugar it has, the sweeter it is, the more it's going to spike your insulin. I'm kind of surprised there's no like searchable database as far as like what foods are in the glycemic index. I would think that there would be. Why is there not? That's kind of strange. It's very strange, isn't it? Whatever. Anyway, bottom line, coconut oil is not high in the glycemic index. You can eat it. It's not going to spike your insulin. Yeah, and honestly, I did a video recently, like, let's see if I can find it, like this guy who did an olive oil fast. He only drank olive oil for like 30 days, this guy. Look, search for this video on my channel if you want, if you care. This guy is like really fat guy, only did like, he drank like 2 cups of olive oil every day for 30 days. I thought it was retarded, but like, whatever, I don't know, he did it. Apparently he lost a lot of weight. I don't know if he got this idea from like Thomas DeLauer, but like, honestly, like, it's so easy to trick, I don't want to say to trick people, but like, guess what, guys? I've got a new diet for you today, right? Here's why. Sometimes when you only drink coconut oil on your fast, you feel a little deprived. You want a little something extra. Introducing the coffee and Nutella fast. All you do is you drink coffee and you eat Nutella for 3 days, and it resets your metabolic index. It's like, I don't know, people fucking believe anything. But anyway, yeah, I guess, I don't know.
Sort
I'll
of
just hear him out before
measurement
I start
of
talking
my
shit.
cognitive awareness. I wanted to test some things. So I said, okay, I'm going to consume only fat and see what happens. Well, I found that mentally I felt pretty good. I felt much more equal to fasting when I was just consuming fats than I did when I would just consume proteins. Now, the reason that I say this is because it could be a blood sugar thing. Now, those of you that do a carnivore style diet, your body acclimates to a lot of meat, a lot of protein, so it could be a little bit different story. So this might not be the ideal video for you. This might not be speaking exactly to you. But when you consume fats, you're still allowing your body to have the calories that it needs to at least keep your metabolism up to snuff. Okay, one of the biggest issues that I do have with intermittent fasting is it can become somewhat of a chronic thing. Okay, you fast and then you fast the next day and then you fast the next day and you almost get addicted to fasting. Let's address the elephant in the room here. Fasting can sometimes cause you to develop almost an addictive like behavior with fasting. You feel so good with it, you get good results, so you just keep on fasting. Well, eventually that can affect your metabolism. It's natural for it to slow down. Okay, so you have to take some stops to make sure you adjust it. But digestively, it can be hard for you to just go right back to eating larger meals.
It's a very good point. That's actually a very good point. All of you like fasting zealots out there who are like, fasting is always good no matter what. You should always fast. Not so sure about that, to be honest with you. I think that your body will get used to anything, including fasting. And just from my personal experience on, because whatever, I live a normal, well, not a normal life, but I live a life where occasionally I won't be able to only eat 1 meal a day, and I will have to switch to eating multiple meals throughout the day. And I will notice either an increase in muscle mass or surprisingly like loss of extra fat. And every time that happens, I always think to myself, it's happened many times, multiple times. I'm always like, shit, like I should switch things up more, right? I should like kind of change things up a little bit more, just to like experience this benefit more frequently. Obviously I never do unless I have to, but I should, like I should switch to eating breakfast or eating 3 meals a day from time to time, just because the benefits of that, of the transition that your body will have to go through is very beneficial. Is it addictive, where you get addicted to fasting? I don't know. I think that's a bit of a stretch to say that. I think a better way of explaining that would be, you see results when you do OMAD, because I think that's really what he's talking about. He's talking about intermittent fasting, not prolonged fasting. You see results when you do intermittent fasting or OMAD, and you're like, oh wow, this is great. I just gotta stick to this. I gotta keep doing this. So you keep doing it, and then what ends up happening, at least with OMAD, is you can stay very lean and get into very good shape, but you're still really about like 5 pounds above your like most super shredded weight. And in order to get down to like super shredded levels of like awesomeness, I believe you really do need to like alternate things a little bit, either with a fast, right, like a 48-hour fast or something, which in my experience the results from that are generally only last for like 2, maybe 3 days tops. Or maybe just have a few days where you eat every day and then you switch back to OMAD. And I think that staggering effect will slowly take you down to a more shredded, let's call it set point.
So one of the things that I suggest is, okay, break it up and do a fat fast, okay, where you're only consuming fats. And I'm talking things like, okay, have your bulletproof coffee, have your keto coffee, okay, with a little bit of butter or a little bit of ghee or a little bit of MCT oil. Okay, have that in your coffee. That's your breakfast. And then what do you do throughout the rest of the day? Okay, well, maybe you have some tea with a little bit of coconut oil in it. Okay, or maybe you go throughout the rest of the day and maybe you have some other kind of beverage where you put a little bit of EVO in it, a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, try to get some poly or monounsaturated fats in there from other sources. Okay, the purpose here is to help your body generate ketones from still an exogenous form of food, right? You're not producing them endogenously. Whenever you are bringing fats into your body is less likely at that point in time to be pulling fat from your stored body fat tissue. And that's okay. Okay, so maybe you're not burning fat at that moment, but you at least are conditioning the liver to be producing ketones. ketones at that point in time. So what I recommend when you do a fat fast is that you try to get a full spectrum of all the different kinds of fats throughout the course of the day. Okay, so get a little bit in the way of MCTs, maybe do those in the morning. That way you're getting those quick acting, quick digesting, quick ketone producing fats in your system. Okay, and then I also want you to focus on getting something in the way of polyunsaturated fats and monounsaturated fats. So we're talking about just good healthy oils. Okay, so maybe a little bit of olive oil, maybe a little bit of avocado oil, macadamia nut oil. We're talking just the oils. We're not talking about getting them from the whole food sources. I don't care what you mix them with. If you mix it with coffee, if you mix it with tea, whatever. Okay, I encourage you to stay away from things like the avocados and stuff like that, simply because there are a little bit of carbohydrates in there and a little 1 or 2 grams of protein, depending on the avocado. Has a little bit more than say California, but still the point is we're trying.
So I think the point here is really less about doing a fat fast and more about trying many things, right? Which people generally do. They just try the wrong things, right? People try a lot of things, but they try stupid stuff. Like, I'm going to starve myself, or like, I'm only going to drink lemon water, which in and of itself is not a bad idea. Like, maybe you could have a day or two where you only drink lemon water. But if everything you're trying is like, okay, now I'm going to try this way of starving myself, now I'm going to try this way of like malnourishing myself, that's not good, right? If, for example, you say, okay, one day this week I'm going to do a fat fast, right? I'm going to only have fat all day, whatever. I'm only going to drink bulletproof coffee, or I'm only going to drink coconut oil all day. That's good. And then the next day you're like, okay, today I'm going to do OMAD. And then the next day you're like, okay, today I'm going to eat 5 times a day. And then the next day you're like, okay, I'm going to fast all day. The next day you're like, okay, I'm going to eat 8,000 calories, whatever. I think that surprisingly is very beneficial, and definitely worth testing. It's definitely worth testing all of these things. But one thing that's important to remember is that regardless of whatever you test, I think there is definitely a lot of benefit in mixing things up, right? Don't just stick to one thing, as tempting as that might be to do, and as hard as that actually is to do when compared to how easy it is to say.
And just keep it very, very clean. It should be a 0 carb day, effectively. But then I also want to make sure that you're getting something in the way of saturated fats. Okay, so coconut oil, if you want, palm oil. You can even go with some kind of beef tallow or duck fat or anything like that. Again, it mixes perfectly fine into a beverage. It doesn't have to be the most palatable thing in the world. But again, the purpose of this is we're trying to have a little bit of a pattern interrupt with the body. It's not something you do long term. It's something you say, I'm going to do this for a day, and I'm going to implement the fats in. Now, calorie-wise, where do you want to be? I usually recommend being at 25% of your daily caloric intake during a fat fast. So if you normally consume 2,000 calories in a given day when you're fasting, okay, or when you are doing a regular ketogenic diet, okay, I want you to cut that in a quarter. So you're going to consume 500 calories, but you're going to be spread throughout the day with fats. Okay, and this goes for whatever your basal metabolic rate is or whatever your normal calorie intake is. Okay, if you're normally consuming 4,000 calories, then you're going to consume 1,000 calories coming from fats, and you're going to spread them out throughout the day with different kinds of fats. This is something that is going to help you reset metabolism. It is going to break up the day a little bit. It's going to break up the week, and it's going to make it so you can get back on your intermittent fasting regimen and quite possibly even break through a plateau. So if you're not wanting to do a full length 2 or 3 day fast, switch it over to a fat fast for a day or two, and you're going to see some pretty awesome results.
It's a great idea. I think this might be the first Thomas DeLauer video that I've watched where I actually think everything he said is on point. Specifically, whatever you are doing, if it's like intermittent fasting or like whatever it is that you're doing, like whatever eating protocol of restricted types of eating that you're doing, mix it up, definitely. Just because doing OMAD is the best. For example, I always say do OMAD, right? That recommendation is for people who are generally like out of shape and have no idea what they're doing, right? If I were to talk to a more advanced person, if you're not advanced, you're not, like, this advice is not for you, basically. If I were to talk to a more advanced person, I would say, yeah, mix it up, for sure. Like, one day do OMAD, or 1 week do OMAD, the next week try something else. Like, always be trying new things. But you really shouldn't try anything new until you've mastered the basics, in my opinion. But like, what did you want me to talk about with this? What was your risks? Muscle loss during the fast? Unnatural and unhealthy, spiking your insulin. Yeah, so like I said, coconut oil is not going to spike your insulin. Fat will not spike your insulin because fat is not sweet. That's number one. Risk muscle loss during the fast. Spiking your insulin. Insulin makes your body go anabolic. So if you're anabolic, that means your body's going to be building, which has nothing to do with muscle loss. If anything, you would build muscle, which you're not going to. But like, this is like saying like, I'm worried if I like, I don't know, go for a walk, like my eyeball might fall out because the air will touch my eyeball. It's like, what? That doesn't happen. It doesn't work like that. Losing the benefits of autophagy. Like, I don't know anything about you. Finally, love me. I'm going to go out on a limb and like, thank you for leaving me this comment. I see you've commented on other of my videos before. I'm not trying to be mean, but like, are you like a fat, overweight woman who doesn't work out? Gonna guess there, because like that's honestly like the type of people that worry about this kind of thing. Like, who worries about this? Like, everybody who ever wants to leave a comment on my channel, okay, asking me a question, right? Make sure you answer these 3 questions with a yes first. Number 1, are you eating once a day? Are you eating mostly meat? Are you going to the gym and lifting weights? If the answer to all of those questions is yes, then you're allowed to ask a question on my channel. I'm kind of joking. Obviously, I like when people ask questions, but like, that's the reason I say it like that is because that is like what you need to do regardless of who you are. Like, that's the prescription right there. All this extra shit, like, should I do a coconut oil fast? Should I do this? That's for advanced people, all right? That's not like for, like, no offense, like fat middle-aged housewives who, like, you know, watched a Thomas DeLauer video in between their like 11 a.m. like YouTube, you know, body transformation binge. You know what I mean? Eat once a day, eat mostly meat, go to the gym and lift weights. That's it. So yeah, anyway, coconut oil fast, it's fine. But again, like I said, pretty much everything I said in this video is for advanced people who are already fit and already in shape. Sorry, but like, gonna go out on a limb and say that that's not you. If it is, great, go ahead, give it a shot. But I bet money that it's not. Anyway, thank you for leaving the comment, even though I was a total dick. If you guys have any other recommendations for videos or YouTubers, let me know. Peace.